Hello, Aaron.
How you doing, Rick? You right? Here we are again.
Here we are again with another session. So we said today we do two games and then a few calculation exercises. And they're two very long games. So we said we try them and do them in 20 minutes each, make 20-minute videos, and then have 20 minutes left for some calculation exercises.
Brilliant.
Especially the first game is very long, 80. Well, I get it up. You tell me, you tell the viewers why you picked this game, because you have been talking about this a lot.
I've picked this game because although tactically it's not the best, it's not my best game. I think there's a lot of entertaining moments, and it's probably the most entertaining game I've ever played. And I think therefore it deserves to be on the list.
Okay. Well,
Let's have it.
let's have a look. 80 something moves, so we won't be able to go through all the critical, all the moments that are interesting, but we'll pick some critical moments. You are right. It was played on the 6th of January 2024. So we're recording this video on the 15th of March 2024. So it's over 2 months ago. But indeed, you have been talking about this game a lot. Let's see what happened. Your
What
opponent,
rating was I there, Rick?
you were 1020 and your opponent was 1029.
Yeah.
And indeed, I don't think we've said it yet. You have reached another milestone, right?
Yeah, I'm 1,116 at the moment. So from January to March, and I haven't been playing a lot either. I've had a lot of time off focusing on other things. So I've gone up an extra 100 points.
Yeah. And that was your target for Easter 2024 to be at
Yes,
1100. And we're still a couple of weeks uh, before
shy
Easter.
from
So
it.
well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rick.
And you have to set yourself another target now.
Yeah, by August the summer, God bless, God willing, God bless. I'm gonna try and get to 1,200.
Okay. End of July, I think you said. Yeah. Okay, let's look at this game. E4, C5. The Sicilian, knight f3, knight f6. That's not the main move, but it's can never be a bad move, although you could say what happens if I kick that knight straight away, but you didn't. You just developed knight c3. Can never be a bad move. Queen c7. They're not uncommon moves in the Sicilian, but not in this order. Anyway,
Mm.
bishop c4, and he played e5. Of course, that gives a big hole on d5. That is one thing to note. But also, you play d3 here, an automatic move to get this bishop out, which I always approve of. But
Mm.
this is one of the rare occasions where you could have jumped with knight g5. I know you don't want to
Mm.
play with the same piece twice in the opening, but if you um, attack f7 like this, then it might be worth it. How does black defend f7 in a proper way?
Pawn to d5.
Yeah. But yes, that is true. But it costs a pawn, right? I can take it.
I take
Yeah.
that. Okay, let's go back a move. Sorry. Um, King. Um, um, Knight to d6. Sorry, my bad. That doesn't go that far. Um, I've lost my. So we need to add. Is it? I don't know, Rick.
No, I'm
Oh
not
no, as soon as
surprised.
you say.
I'm not surprised you don't know because you cannot defend f7 again. I guess the only way you could defend is by playing d6 and add a second defender to f7. But that is not a great defender. King and queen, you can still take on f7, and he cannot
Yeah.
really give his queen for two pieces. So knight g5 is already because black played bad first four moves. You already have knight g5.
Oh, brilliant.
So that gives you a big advantage because you're going to crash in on f7. So also in the opening, look for, especially if your opponent plays weird moves, see if there's any tactics available straight away.
Yeah.
Okay, you played d3, d6, bishop g5, bishop g4. You kicked that bishop, and he decided to take. You recapture with the queen, of course, to keep your pawn structure intact. And you are attacking, if we're talking about attackers and defenders, f6 is attacked twice and only defended once. If you were black, how would you deal with that?
Bishop to e7.
Exactly, the natural move. Protecting f6, developing the bishop, and preparing to castle. You saw it straight away. Your opponent did not see it and played h6, saying, please take on f6 and win a pawn. Well, you did not need an invitation. Thank you very much for the pawn.
Yes, finally.
Yes, good start. 10 moves, you're already pawn up. And it's hard to see where his king will find safety. You're attacking the rook. He saved it. And knight d5, lovely. That hole on d5. I mentioned that a few moves ago, and now the knight jumps into that hole. Attacking the queen. Queen steps aside. You castle, and rook g6. Tactic alert. Attacking the queen. You play the queen back to f3. But can you find a nice tactic here, Aran, that will gain more material for white?
Right. More material. Trying to look for any pins. Any skewers. Any forks. I can't. Trying to see if I can take the rook, but no.
Okay, well, let's calculate this a bit of a calculation exercise. Let's take the rook, and I'm not going to put it on the board. Let's see if you can calculate this. Queen takes g6.
Oh yeah, yeah. Damn. So the knight to f6.
Yeah,
So
so
I take the rook. Pawn takes back. I move the knight to f6. Knight for king and queen.
yeah, and now you place, let's say, king e7.
One.
And you take the queen, right?
Yeah.
And I'll recapture your queen with I'll recapture your knight with my knight. So
And
what happened there?
I'm up in exchange. I'm up in exchange.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want a rook for a knight, right? So queen
But
takes
Rick,
g6.
can I say, like, this is the next part of my sort of development. Like, in my opinion, because of where I'm at, the first part of that equation, that calculation, is queen takes rook, pawn takes that. So my mind stopped. So if you take the queen, that's where my mind. That's as far as my calculations go. I can't see that. So that's, I don't know what to say really, but I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, well, exactly. That is the next step. You know, this is a combination that goes a bit further than just it's more moves than just one move that gives a tactic, and not so easy to see. You know, the queen is on f6, so you move the queen away, taking a rook, and then you have to fork, and then of course you have to calculate that it really gives you material, and in this case it does, because you take a rook and then you win a queen back, but you lose the knight, so you run a rook for a knight, and that's an extra exchange for white. Yeah, it's the
Beautiful.
next step.
Yeah.
You play the queen back to f3, and he played. By the way, the fork is still a threat now. Knight
Yeah, I
f6.
was just about to say it's still there, really. It's still there because if he takes, I win a rook. Well, at the exchange.
Yeah. So what if you're black? What you see knight f6 being a threat? What do you do?
Bishop to g7.
Yeah, bishop g7. Exactly. That's the move here. Protecting the f6 square one more time. But he played knight a6 instead.
Yeah.
And you said, thank you very much. I see this tactic. Same tactic, but a little bit easier. Rook takes, queen takes, so you want an exchange after all. Knight c7. a4, not really sure what that move does, Aran, but it's not a bad move, of course. And he plays a bad one, knight e6. Because now, maybe that's why he played a4.
Yeah, the reason I played a4 is because I was trying to support the bishop for the king, the pin.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. Well, for the moment, of course, the pin.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think I was prepared. I think I was just keeping it there just in case.
yeah. No, a4 is not a bad move. You know, you're not giving any crucial squares away or anything, so I shouldn't be critical. But knight e6 is a blunder because of bishop e5 with the pin. Sorry. skewer, pin, whatever it's called. He has to give up a queen for a piece, and things are going really well. We've played 18 moves, and you're a queen up.
Rick, I'm buzzing here watching this, really happy at this point.
Yeah, well, you should be. But game goes on. We're only move 18, and this move will take 84 moves. You could say, why does it take so long? Because you're a queen up. Let's see what happens. You kicked that knight. Knight e2 check. King steps aside, develops his bishop. You gave a check. He cannot move the king because then you'll take the rook in the corner. So he has to go back with the bishop. And you play d4, striking in the center. I like that move. Why do I like d4 so much, Aaron, this move?
Because it opens the center, opens the game.
Opens the game, and rooks like space. Rooks love open space. So if you can get some lines opened against that exposed black king, then the rooks will have a field day. So d4 is a lovely move. Knight f4. You start to open up some lines. He does not recapture. He plays knight g6, attacking your queen. Queen back. And now he takes on e5 with the knight, desperately trying to keep some lines closed. But what we're talking about, you're queen up, so centralize the rook. He does the same, and you play f4, kicking that knight from that nice position on e5. I like that move.
Yes.
Knight drop back, attacking your queen. Queen drop back, b6. Not sure what that move does, but I guess black doesn't really have any good plans. He's just too much material down, and his king is in the open. e5, great move. Again, trying to open up some lines. Bishop e7, and now, what do you think white should play here?
Queen to h6.
Queen takes pawn, thank you very much. And then we're going to open up the center if we can and put the rooks on the e-file, and it will be over very soon. But you decided to take on d6.
Oh.
And I did not check, but I have a feeling you might have played that move quite quickly.
Yeah. I think I got excited. That's what it was.
Yeah, a bit excited. You just missed that your queen was attacked. So we'll go over that. We won't dwell on it. And game is back on because he won a full queen back. You know, not even a queen for a piece. That's a full queen that's off the board. So game is back on.
Damn.
And you played rook d3. I guess you wanted to get your rooks on the e file, but for the moment e1 is covered by the bishop. And he blunders knight f6. Did you remember you found the right move? Why is knight f6 a blunder, Aaron?
Knight f6 a blunder.
It's another tactic.
Blunder. I don't know, Rick.
Have a look at this guy. What's going on with him?
Oh, he's trapped.
Yeah, he doesn't have many squares. Actually, he has no squares, no safe squares to go to, and that's why knight f6 was a blunder, because it blocks the retreat of the bishop. So how do you trap that bishop?
See, and this is the thing, like, checks, bloody hell, the king of checks, captures, okay, attacks, but because I haven't produced that attack, it's like an own goal. He's done it himself. I haven't got like a signal to go, boom, it's trapped. I haven't got that intuition yet, so I didn't know.
No. Well, you played the right move, maybe without realizing
G3. It. Yeah, G3.
G3, exactly. But it's clear that you didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't know, because when he took it, of course you have to recapture, and then you're an exchange up. But you probably didn't know what you had done, because you played King G2.
Oh.
So I know you're very enthusiastic about this game, but that's always the case when you start to look deeper into it. And I've played some games that I thought were great games, and then after the game I analyzed it with one of my friends who are a lot stronger, and then didn't feel so good about my game afterwards.
No, not listen. We went over king and queen checkmates, and we that comes into play. There's a lot. I've got that pin which I tried to plan for. I'm still happy, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm still happy about this game. This is brilliant. This is brilliant feedback.
Okay, well, good. You're attacking his bishop a second time, and he defends it a second time. I guess you could give the rook for 2 pieces here.
Yeah,
We
that's really
exchanged some
good.
messages on that. That is a good deal for white, but you give a check. King f8, rook e5, attacking the knight.
Double
And
attack. Well, yeah.
yeah, if the knight plays, you can take the bishop. He takes on f4 with check, but you take
Oh, oh yes.
there. So all good.
Back on.
You won.
Yeah.
You won material. Now your next change up. The knight is hanging. Knight d3, attacking your rook. Rook went there, attacking a weak pawn. He takes your pawn and protects his own pawn in the process. So you went back to f5, attacking f7 now.
Yeah.
He gave a check, and you went to to h4.
Mm,
He took a pawn, and you took a pawn with check. King
yes.
g8, and you took another
Rooks
pawn.
on the Rooks on the seventh rank.
Rook's on the 7th rank and eating pawns. That's a good deal. Though your material up and with a winning position, but there will
Good.
be drama. Knight c4, and there goes the second rook to that rank. Looks all great. Knight d6, attacking your rook, and now rook f2 d7, saving your rook. But now black could have finished this game. There is mate in 2 for black because your king is in trouble. Show me the mate in 2 that black had here, please.
Knight to f5.
Knight f5 check was played, by the way. You have only 1 square for your king. Mate in
And
1.
then rook to g5.
Rook g5 checkmate. That's a nice picture, isn't it? The knight protecting the pawn and taking the h4 square away, and the rook doing a good job taking squares away and giving check. That's a pretty picture
Yeah,
if you're
it's
black.
nice.
Yeah. But after king h5, he did not see the checkmate, and he played rook f6. And that was a narrow escape because suddenly you're winning again because the checkmate is gone now.
Yep.
Rook d8 check. That's what you do. Trading down when you're ahead. Rook f8. Take. Take.
Yes.
Just make when you do that. There's one thing about that if you trade down, you have to make sure there's enough pawns left. In this case, you have 3 pawns left, so there's enough to win. But if you have no pawns left or only 1, then it's not always good to trade down because then you might end up rook versus knight or something, or queen versus rook, and those are very difficult positions.
Yeah.
So that's just the only thing about trading down. Make sure you have enough pawns to make the win easy.
Yeah.
You played king g6 here, activating your king. He gave a check. Thank you for the pawn. King f7. That's sorry. King f7. He can get now his king off the back rank because the knight interposed there. Rook b7. Very good move, attacking that pawn. And once that pawn is gone, your b pawns will start running.
Yeah.
King e6. Thank you very much for the pawn. It couldn't be saved in the long run anyway. King d5. Rook b7. Check. King g5. Knight e3. And yeah, totally winning position for white with his 2 fast pawns that can start running. I
Yeah.
guess I would play h4 in a heartbeat. The king is already there. Your king, the black king, is far away, and I'm just going to run that pawn home. You played rook d7 check, king c4, and now you started running. Nothing
Yes.
against that. Knight d5 and b7. What can black do? Nothing. Knight b6. Okay, you could have promoted here, but you Saves the rook, attacking the knight. He takes a pawn, and I guess you can take the knight here. It's always good when the knights are off. Knight with their jumps are always good pieces to get off the board in a winning endgame. But your move, promotion, is perfectly fine, of course, as well. Knight c4, move 56. We're still not there. More drama to come. And now you gave a check. It's not so much. I'll just put the next few moves on the board. Not much happening. You're running your pawn up the board. Why not? He's running his pawn, but you can always give your rook or even your queen for that pawn if it gets too close. Check, check, check. And h6. And now knight e4 check. I know we swapped some messages on this one as well. What do you do here?
Take with the rook.
Just take it off. Thank you very much. The only thing is stalemate, but there's no stalemate. The king has plenty of squares. So that's what you should have done, of course. But you saw a fork and thought, oops, I'm losing my queen. Yeah. King f4. And there goes the queen. Not that it will help black, but it was unnecessary. But you're still totally winning. Rook takes d6. And check. And yeah, you take the pawn now with the rook, which is perfectly fine. You can also just run your own pawn. And once the black pawn reaches c1, then you give up your rook. You know, there's no rush in giving up your rook.
Yeah.
But it's fine to do it here as well, because you have a winning endgame. And you were happy that you showed your technique that we had practiced in one of these sessions with king and queen.
Yes.
84 moves.
Yes, I'm very happy with that. Yeah, okay, a few things to work on, of course, you know. But like you said, if I was to show a highlight reel of some really good stuff, you know, but this was entertaining. Really happy to deliver on this technique. Thank you for that. It came into play. You've watched me from not knowing this technique to winning a complete game. Because if I didn't know, I could have stalemate this, and then it's doomed. But we did it. Yeah,
exactly. No, that's an important technique to, especially because you might be low on the clock at this moment. So then it's nice that you know the technique and can play it in a few seconds. Yeah. Anything else on this game, Aran?
No, thank you.